Okay, and I think that was Asian Dub Foundation. It's called Blade Raga, in case you're interested. They're a really interesting group out of the UK. We've been following them for quite some time. And recently we've been following Ryan Booth, who is also joining us on the line currently. Hello, Ryan.
Hi.
Hi. Good. Welcome to the program. Ryan Booth is an actor and a physical trainer who bases his work out of here, out of Coast Salish territories. And recently, due to his acting and a lot of other sort of connections with organizing in the Palestinian community, was involved this last Saturday with a performance, I think, if I'm not mistaken, which was happening at, or happened at UBC. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah.
What was it called?
It was Stories from Palestine Beyond the Wall.
That's
and
right.
What it was is basically like a gathering of Palestinian and Yemeni artists, singers, filmmakers, and actors. And it was a play, a narrative play throughout the evening. And I was actually on your show last week to promote it. And I have to thank you because we managed to sell the show out.
Wow.
It was at the Norman Bouchard Memorial Theater in UBC, and I think it was like 350 or 400 seats.
Well, we appreciate the shout out, Ryan. Clearly, our program doesn't fill the theater. You guys had a lot of social media and a lot of buzz around it as well. So kudos to you. How did you feel about it? You were actually part of the. Were you actually on stage? Did you do a cameo? Did you do some part? Did that work out?
I had a cameo. The play sort of centers around a woman's journey through Palestine and the West Bank, and what she learns, and then she brings it back to Canada and to her boss at the network, certain corporation, will go unnamed, and they basically just try to shut her down.
Right.
And then the whole thing ends with her kind of tragically getting fired. But and so I was the boss who does that.
You were the bad. You had to do the firing.
Yeah. Once again, Ryan Booth playing the bad guy.
Okay, so what a wonderful apropos presentation that definitely talks about the contemporary scene that many journalists in Canada have to operate under.
They are controlled pretty significantly with what it is they can say. My lovely wife Courtney, she wrote today, in fact, she wrote into Global News because they were reporting on prisoner exchanges in Palestine. And they referred to the Israeli prisoners as hostages and the Palestinian prisoners as prisoners.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what the heck? So she wrote this rather pointed letter to them. I was just like, holy smokes, this is really, really well. This is really, really well written. But that's the kind of thing that, like, if you're a journalist in Canada, you're not allowed really to be open and honest about what is happening in Palestine. To the point where at a certain news corporation that might be a crown corporation.
Are you talking about the CBC? You talking about the CBC?
I mean, no, of course not.
No.
Yeah, I'm talking about the CBC. You're not actually allowed to use the word Palestine.
That's
you
right.
can use the word Palestinian, but you can't use the word Palestine, so you won't see it in any of their reporting. And I just think that that's like madness. We can all see on our phones what is happening. I don't know if there's a TikTok ban. I don't have TikTok, but on Instagram or on doing themselves a massive disservice. And further to that, they are actually like making themselves complicit in the genocide by basically covering it up. So, yeah, I just don't know what their end game is, if they've actually thought about it. And you can tell that the narrative is starting to switch a little bit. CNN in the States, they're starting to air actual stories and so on. But still, there's just too much that's being covered up under the guise of no one cares. You know what I mean? Oh, we would run that story, but we can't get an audience for it. You know? Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a good point. I definitely concur with you in terms of how mainstream media shapes public opinion, and by virtue of how they choose their own subjectivity. And it's interesting because the rise of social media has, in a way, balanced this out. We can only wonder what TikTok is going to turn into the future. But I'm good to hear that your partner wrote this letter. I think that it's fantastic. And I think more and more people are doing the same, and more people are being encouraged to do the same. And we've also seen some high-profile journalists leave the CBC simply for this reason, that they've just been censored, not only on Palestine-Israel, which seems to be it seems to be the majority issue, but on a host of other issues that mainstream media likes to keep a particular narrative about. So anyway, I just wanted to switch over and ask you your thoughts around the news for the ceasefire. How do you feel about what happened, what went down?
I am elated. I spent a lot of time just kind of with my head in my hands. So here's the thing, like, I'm Canadian born, I'm Palestinian, but I'm Canadian and I'm born in Canada. And I was raised as a white person, as a colonizer, if you will. I understand that this is just the beginning of the work for us here in Canada. Like, a ceasefire is the bare minimum. But I allowed myself a moment or two to just really be appreciative, and then to take a deep breath and refocus and get back after it, because we have so much work to do getting through, some of the same issues that you were talking about with the news reporting, and trying to actually bring justice to Palestine. So, like, we're not trying for a ceasefire, we're trying for liberation. And until that happens, that's when I will fly to Palestine and dance on the rubble of the fallen wall. And I will celebrate with all of my friends. Yourself and Nasser are invited as well.
No doubt. Yeah.
I made a post about it, and I just wanted, like, I was trying to recruit that nobody thought, okay, it's time that we take our foot off of the gas. I was trying to recruit solidarity so that people understand that this is just the beginning. We didn't say ceasefire; we said free Palestine, and that's what we're going to drive for. And right now, it's looking good. I don't think anybody is taking their foot off the gas, and I'm seeing lots of people being engaged at a time when engagements are at their lowest because of this censorship. Like, it doesn't just apply to global TV and the CBC; it also applies to Facebook. One of their lawyers just quit today, citing toxic masculinity and neo-Nazi madness. A lawyer said that about Zuckerberg and quit Meta. coming from the proletariat, and it's not going to stop. And we have to, be sure that we are responsible about how we use it. We also got to be really, really careful that we understand just how precious it is. Like our views are going to be heard, and we are not going to accept anything less than liberation. Right? So ceasefire is great. Happy about that. But then Israel goes and they murdered a kid today. Like a sniper shot a child who was waiting for food aid, and then shot, I guess, his father who was trying to get him off the road. Somebody was trying to help him. So I saw that, and I was just like, oh my God. And I also heard today that the orange guy lifted the ban on selling 2,000-pound bombs to Israel. So that's never good. And yeah, 60 new prisoners. So they released 90 yesterday and today, Palestinian prisoners, and then they go to the West Bank and they capture 60 more people who are held without arrest,
Right.
Or charged.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like you can say, okay, great, it's great that there's a ceasefire, and like maybe the bombs are load for now, but what's cooking from the United States administration, and certainly Smotrich and Bibi are not good. So we still have a lot of work to do to fight against those evil men.
Yeah, Ryan, I hear you, and I think it's really awesome to take this sort of pause, have a bit of relief. At least it's de-escalated, we can say, up until this point. It's going to be really hard to imagine what's going to happen. There is a lot of unpredictability, but it's never a good sign when you start lifting the bans on weapons. And then we've also are running into an election cycle out here. So, yeah, it's a good metaphor, or what you were saying earlier. We can't take the foot off the gas. We gotta keep that pressure up. Would you like to inform listeners about some of the organizations that you are working with in the community, where folks can get more information if they wanted
Absolutely.
to? Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm excuse me. I'm a board member of CPA, which is the Canada-Palestine Association. I'm actually the co-chair of it, and we are doing a membership drive. And basically, what I'm asking people to do is go to our website, Canada-Palestine Association.ca, I think, and have a look at our website. On the website, there's a basis of unity that we have written out, and I want listeners to go there, read that basis of unity, and then if they agree with what we stand for as a Palestinian Solidarity Network, they can agree to it and then pay a small initiation fee and become a member of the Canada-Palestine Association. We're also open for donations, and it's all clear on the site. And what we want to do is grow it so we can stand in solidarity with our activists here in Canada and the United States, and support in an organized way. So this is what I'm working on right now, and now that the play is over.
Definitely. Ryan, for listeners who may not be familiar with CAP, you want to let them know a little bit about the history of the organization?
Well, it's Canada's oldest Palestinian Solidarity Network. It was basically started by Bulland Awaaz, and has been on the front lines for this for longer than anyone that I can think of. And as far as the actual history goes, he could probably speak to that better. But
and there's information on the website itself. There's information on your site.
Absolutely, all there.
Yeah. For listeners who may or may not know, Hana Awaaz was also a long-term programmer here at Co-op Radio with the Voices of Palestine. And for a lot of reasons around principle and integrity, Hana left the cooperative. The cooperative has changed its direction since then, but for quite some time there was a principled reason. And Hana left, and it was unfortunate because listeners lost a very, very important program called The Voice of Palestine, which is available still independently and online. If listeners want to look that up, Voice of Palestine, and
that link is also on the CPA website.
That's right. And we're well aware of Hana's work and really appreciative of that. The organization is probably 30-odd years is old. And it's wonderful that folks get a chance to read more information around the solidarity, around the points of actions. And really a lot of good analysis, I think, happens through that portal, through that website. So we're happy that it's alive, that it's thriving, and it's continuing its work.
Yeah, honestly, it's such a valuable resource for Palestinians and those supporting the Palestinian cause alike. So if anybody would like to just, head on over there and have a look, that would be great. And if you wanted to, you could hit me up as well. I'm Ryan Ginger Official on Instagram, or Ryan Jefferson Booth on Facebook. And thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Thanks for taking out this time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll catch up with you as we go down the road.
And you, sir. Thanks again. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Our pleasure. We hope that that folks will be able to see the production, Ryan. What do you know at all? Was it recorded? Is there going to be a link available at all?
So I believe that it was recorded for personal use. I don't know for sure if that has been.
So all the more reason to put it back on. I mean, no, that's okay. When something is like this and it's live, you got to see it live. Recordings are never going to capture it. But I'm just mean to say then, I'm sure that you guys have already talked about mounting it again. I hope that you do for folks like me and others that didn't get a chance to see it.
Honestly, a remount. Interesting. This is the first I've heard of this. Oh my goodness. I can't imagine how we would ever do something like that. I'll keep you posted.
All right. All right. Take care. Good evening.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye. Okay, so